Hi everybody, welcome to this short video on workshop, the what, the why, the how. This should prepare you for the what, the why, and the how of this next assignment. So first, what is workshop? Workshop in a classroom is where we get together, exchange papers, read each other's papers, and give feedback. And in this online community, we're going to try to do the same thing. Please note in the directions when you are picking your paper to comment on, don't choose a paper that already has 2 or more comments on it. The goal is for everyone to give 2 pieces of feedback to 2 different people and to get 2 from 2 different people. The only way these numbers work is if no one gives any feedback to people who already have 2 comments. So please try to follow those directions. I want to talk about why workshop for just a second. So the reason we usually think about why we workshop is that it's to get feedback, that you've written it, and sometimes another set of eyes can look at it and give you some ideas for how to revise and improve it. And if you get some good feedback from someone, that's fantastic. That'll give you, places you can build your paper, places you can improve your paper, and that all works really well. But there's a more important reason we workshop, and that's actually for you to become a more critical reader, which then helps you become a better writer. So it's likely that some of you will get bad feedback during workshop, and that's okay. What's really important is if you go to read somebody else's paper, and in reading that paper, you learn something. You think, oh, the thesis isn't very focused here. Oh, I need to improve my thesis as well. Or, oh, they're not doing a good job of showing versus telling, and I could probably learn to do that a little better as well. So when you put yourself in the position of a reader, that helps you go back to your own paper. And then you're reading your own paper like a reader would and asking those critical questions of yourself. So the real goal of workshop isn't only to get feedback for how to improve, it's for you to become a more critical, more thoughtful reader. So even if you get bad feedback, it's okay. As long as you're giving good feedback, that should translate into your own writing. I'd also just like to mention, regardless of the feedback you get, it's up to you to decide what to implement, what not to implement. I'll give you all feedback to this paper that you post here as well. And so you will get some feedback from me to support you in your revisions. But you can get the most out of workshop by giving great feedback, not just trying to get feedback for how to improve yourself. And so this leads into the how we workshop. So for my workshops in this class, you always have very focused prompts that are related to lessons we've already learned. I don't do a lot of what did you like, what do you not like. I want you interacting with the lessons from this class so that they become a chance to revisit some of those lessons. So you'll see here, we're revisiting thesis statements, we're revisiting showing versus telling, lessons that we've already covered. So hopefully you're learning those a little bit better and applying those lessons to your own writing and to the writings that you're reading. And so I've got some very specific directions I'd like you to follow to really get the most out of this workshop. So for example, the first is I want you to quote their thesis and explain in your own words what the main idea of their paper is. So this requires you to read and look for their thesis and to copy paste it into your response there. Doing that first helps you think, what is a thesis and can you find it? And if your thesis is what they thought their thesis was, then good, everybody's on the same page. If you can't find their thesis, it might be because they don't have a strong one. That's interesting. It might be because you're confused about what a thesis is. That's also interesting. Either way, one of you needs to work on your reader-writer kind of connection there. But in this, don't skip it if you can't find a thesis. Copy paste in what you think the best thesis might be for number 1. And then in your own words, summarize the main idea. And that'll help them see, does the thesis really grab the main idea of the paper? Or do you think the main idea of the paper is something else and it's not hitting the thesis? And if those 2 things don't match, there's a problem. And so this is a thesis review. It's a chance for you to look for a thesis, to think about what makes a quality thesis, and then ultimately go back to your own thesis statement and make it as strong as you can. Then look at number 2. It's the same kind of thing with showing versus telling. This is going to be a strength you're looking for. Where are they showing the best? Quote that. And then talk about why you liked it. Number 3, find a place where you think they could show more. That's a place where they could make a revision or expand, or where they're not giving you enough detail, and give them a suggestion for how they could expand it. So now we're looking at showing and telling and learning how to show even better. And then the 4th question is the more open-ended one. Please don't just say no suggestions here, and don't skip any of these. Really push yourself to try to offer a concrete suggestion for how they could improve. If you say everything looks fine to me, they're not getting good feedback. But what's really happening there is you're not thinking hard enough about the paper to help you grow as a writer. You're really letting yourself down, and you're missing a learning opportunity if you can't look at a paper and really push yourself to try to give it a specific suggestion. And so I don't think poor writer when I see someone just say, "Oh, nice job, no suggestions here." I think that the person who's giving that feedback has missed a huge learning opportunity there. So really push yourself to do your best in responding to each of these 4 prompts. And that's how you can get the most out of feedback, how you can get the most out of workshop, regardless of what feedback you get. And then the nice side effect of this is if everyone's doing their best, the feedback's gonna be better. And then if we all get good feedback, then that's a bonus as well. And then beyond that, and beyond what other people give you feedback on, I'll give you feedback too. So do your best in workshop. This is a really important part of the process. The first thing to do is just to post your paper. That's the full rough draft is what's due Thursday. You don't have to actually come back in and complete the workshop until the following Monday. So your goal, probably when you're first seeing this, is just get your rough draft written and get it posted. Then you have all the way till Monday to actually come back and look at other people's posts and give feedback to 2 posts. So thanks for listening. I hope you found this useful. Peace out.